Yeah, 4. And since I'm afraid to add music to my videos now, I made my own music. Just kidding. I only know like a few chords. And I'm probably gonna be really bad at like talking and um see I can't even do it now. Playing music and talking at the same time, so we're just gonna see how this goes. But yeah, part 4. I believe I left off in high school, and that was when, like I said, my identity was like super skewed. Like I didn't know who I was, as we often all are in high school, from what I understand. But, like I felt like I was such a lost cause. Like, and I made it even more apparent and more so. Like I remember, I literally would become so anxious and stressed out by everything that was going on inside my brain, because this is when I first started to like really process what was who I was, and also trying to like live my life for God, but also like, had my middle fingers up in the air, like didn't like anything or anybody or anyone all the time without exception. And wow, I would get so stressed out that I literally like would forget to breathe. Like I was just like just forget to breathe. And that was all just like a huge like facade in my character. Like I guess I had pushed myself so far down, and like just my want and desire to like even reach out to people. I was so fake. I was just so fake. But then I had a major friendship in my life where we had all like gone to the same high school together. So like when I was in elementary, I like jumped around to a bunch of different schools, and so whenever I got in high school, which we all like filtered into, I was able to like have friends everywhere. So I had a lot of like friends or whatever. I say or whatever because I don't even know, like I didn't allow them to be my friends, you know what I mean? But no one was really like interested anyways. Like everybody's so involved with their own selves, which is understandable. Like we're all trying to figure ourselves out. And so I had this really good friend of mine, and we ended up being like super like close and everything. And then she like stopped me in the middle of the hall one day. And if you're watching this video, love you, because we're good friends now and everything, after we had this big huge like falling out later on in our lives. But anyways, she stopped me in the hall one day and was like, hey, like I don't think we should be friends anymore. And I was like, okay. And I called my mom that day, and my mother and I had started to have like really good like strong relationship at this point. And I told my mom about it, and she was like, look, like people don't do anything for you. And I was like so devastated. I was like, how dare? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't like that. But it was actually so freeing. It's like nobody actually does anything for you. Everybody always does something on their own thing, and that's so true. It's all for their own sake, you know what I mean? That's why God's love is so eternal and so magnificent, is because he probably so involved in our lives that he literally like doesn't even think about himself, you know what I mean? Like that's how Jesus was. Jesus was so adamant on restoring our relationship to him that he literally like forsake everything that he stood for and everything that he was, without actually giving up his identity, you know what I mean? Like it's so incredible, so inceptual. But anyways, there's a lot to be said there that I'm gonna leave unsaid for the moment, because this is my testimony. And I'm kind of scatterbrained, just a little bit. But that's okay, because that's a lot about how my life was in this moment. I literally like had no idea who I was. I was trying to develop my own sexuality and develop my own skills, and it just wasn't happening. But so like that friendship that like fizzled apart was really good for my development, because it was able to like leave me with myself and like understand who I was and like where I was going, what I was doing. And so I got like really religious again, you know what I mean? And that's really like a lot about who I was. Like I'd always get really religious and really sucked into all these different ideologies, and get really like, if you don't do things a certain way, or you don't hang out with the right people, or you don't do all these things according to the word of God. And I understood everything about the word. I didn't know the creator of it though, And so I was so fixed on like just like developing this relationship with legalism, you know what I mean? Just like trying to understand what that was all about. That and I was so afraid. See, that always stems from some sort of fear that you're not good enough. Like I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel like I was ever gonna be good enough. And so I made everybody adhere to my own perception of reality and doctrine. And I had at this point I had been baptized once. I got rebaptized. Like I said, I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I got rebaptized, and that was really good for me because I was at that moment I was really able to like start like paving the way for major heartache in my life. Which I'm laughing about it now, but so I was like, oh, I'm forgiven. Like I'm just gonna like live my life like all this way, you know what I mean? And just so I started like running my life into the ground. And I started being like even more sexually active than I already was. And I started to push people away in ways that I had never done before, all in God's name, which is just ridiculous, right? And so, what led me? Oh, I had so like there's this new student at school, and so she was like vulnerable. I'll leave it at that. And I guess I like shadowed myself onto her in the sense that like I put all my insecurities on her and she took all of it, which is really terrible. And I love her so much. I wish I could like restore that relationship. That's just some things that for some of us who know this, there are some relationships that will never be able to be like truly restored to the way they once were. I've tried reaching out and got rejected completely. I pray about it all the time, you know. But yeah, so we had a really good friendship and a relationship, and I think we fell in love with each other, you know, like I really did fall in love with her and everything, but it was all founded on things that were like so, what's the word? There was not a solid foundation, but that's not what I'm trying to say here. They were, for me, it was personal, like selfish reasons that I wanted to be her friend, and then also for her, like I just feel like she was ready to like just grab onto anybody that would like offer their hand. You know what I mean? And I didn't really have a sound character. I was trying to like bring everybody to Christ as always. Like I just feel like that was my sole purpose. Like whenever I met my grandma, like I just knew that I wanted everybody to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I just didn't know how to do that for myself is the thing. Like I didn't know who to be, you know what I mean? And sometimes that happens, like Paul the apostle, like the guy that like was going around killing Christians, who ended up being like a hardcore like advocate for Jesus Christ, a Christian. He too like he wanted everybody to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and those people that were deemed unworthy or unacceptable like were eliminated, you know what I mean? But he didn't know how to do it for himself until he had like a fundamental breakdown. And so I'm going to get to my fundamental breakdown. Well, how much time do I have? That much time. So I think we're going to do part 5 and talk about the breakdown, and then that will hopefully probably like 2 more videos, and then that will be like the actual like full testimony. And then after that we can start making videos about glorifying Christ and get over myself, because I'm over it. I'm so thankful to just be living with Christ in my day-to-day relationship. And things are about to get bad in this world. They're really ugly right now, and they're gonna get worse. But I'm so thankful for my relationship with Jesus Christ, and being able to bring others to that understanding, but in a whole way, in a very wholesome way.